Welcome back to part 2. Get ready with me for game night. I'm so excited. I'm going in with some Rare Beauty Gel, and I'm sure as you guys can see, I already have my eyes done. And I laid down some pot concealer. And I'm just going to brush these down with some eye gel for now. And then I'm going to fill in at the very end. That's what I always do. I find that to be much better. And next I am going to go in with my foundation. And, well, actually, before I go in with my foundation, I'm going to take, I let this completely dry down, by the way, because I get more coverage for my spots this way. And I am going to be putting, this, Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter on my face. And then I'm going to go in with my actual foundation, and we're just going to have a stunning full coverage glow. I don't always do this much coverage like this, but when I'm going out and about on like an actual event or an outing, I like for my makeup to be like super flawless. And I've got some really bad acne flare-ups. I think y'all saw those in my videos, my last videos. I'm having some really bad acne flare-ups, and I am needing to make sure that those are very well covered up, because I don't know, there's nothing wrong with showing your natural skin and your acne. I am all for the girls out there who, you're just like, I'm going to show you my natural skin. That is fine. But for me personally, I don't like to show mine because I just don't feel like it looks good whenever you can still see my spots. So I like to make sure I fully cover them. And something I want to mention, you want to avoid the under eye area, because that is where your concealer is going to go. And if you put foundation underneath your eye where your concealer is going to go, it's going to make it crease and cake a lot more. So when you put on your foundation, try to avoid putting any on underneath your eye area. So far, she's looking good. And now I'm going to go in with my NARS Light Reflecting Foundation, just to really make sure like we get all of our coverage in. Next, I'm going in with my under eye corrector. This is the concealer from Huda Beauty, and this one's in the shade Cherry Light. And then I'm going to take a little brush. Actually, first, I'm going to go in with a concealer brush first. And then I am using the Half Magic 260 concealer brush. I've just recently started getting into using a brush for my concealer instead of a sponge. And I'm going to say I really love using this. And what I actually like to do is I'll go in with the brush first, and then I will go smooth everything out with my sponge. And it just gives the flawless under eye without like hardly any creasing at all. Now that I'm done with my under eye corrector, I'm going in with my Natasha Denona concealer. And oh my gosh, I have been loving her recently. She is a good concealer. If you're in the market for a good concealer, this Natasha Denona concealer is a concealer that I would highly recommend. Like I said, I just recently got it, and it is definitely like, it's definitely a huge favorite. Next, I'm going in with my Too Faced bronzer stick, and I am using the shade, I'm using the Chocolate Mousse one. I use this to bronze up my forehead and my cheeks, and then I go in with my House Labs contour stick to like contour all the other areas. His bronzer stick from Too Faced is so stinking good. It's definitely one of my favorites. Now I'm going in with my House Labs contour, the new contouring stick, and I'm using the shade Chisel, and I'm gonna go in on my nose. This is where I'm gonna contour my nose at, and then just to shrink up my jawline, I like to chisel the jawline too, and then I go up here just for that extra, to kind of make my face look a lot skinnier. And then now I'm going to take my Makeup by Mario F4 brush, and then I'm just going to go through and blend everything again. And then I'm going to drag down near the jawline so that it gives more of the chisel look instead of spreading it and swiping, because then it'll get above the jawline, and then it'll look more like a bronzer down here at your jawline instead of like a contoured chisel, if that makes any sense. And for blush, I went in with the Huda Beauty blush, and I am using the shade Bubblegum. And this, oh my gosh, I am obsessed with this. It blends. I mean, do you guys see how fast that took to blend? And it melted with my bronzer, like, so well. And something else that I like to do, I like to switch to the other side of my brush where I blended in my bronzer, and I like to just go over everything to really melt everything together, so like there's that seamless blend from the bronzer blush, so there's not like a harsh line that goes between my bronzer and my blush. That's what I do. I think it really just melts everything so well together. That Huda Beauty blush is so good. Now I'm setting with my new Huda Beauty powder. This is the new Duo one, and oh my gosh, is she brightening and blurring. And I'm just putting this under my eyes, and anywhere where we put our concealer, I'll put it under my eyes, and then I'll take some and put some right here just underneath the bronzer to really brighten everything up, and then I take it down the nose, and then I do just a little bit on the chin, and I set my face, the rest of my face, with a different powder. But this powder from Huda Beauty is so good, and I like to let the excess sit for a little bit. I don't go and blend it in all the way, because now I am going to go in with my this is also fairly new. This is my One Size powder, and I take her and I take a little bit and I put it down here, because I don't want under my cheek to be as bright. I want my bright points to kind of be like up through here. You know, I don't want anything to be as bright down here. So I'll take a finishing setting powder that's not really brightening. It's just more for setting it. And this is in the shade Fair. And I'm going to go in my upper lip and then under my cheekbones, because I don't really like to have my under my cheeks as bright as everything else. I like for my main brightness to be under my eyes and around right through here. Powder blush, I went in with a little bit of Too Faced, the Too Faced powder blush. And then next I am going to go in with just a little bit of the Patrick Ta. This is the highlighter, but this is the pink one. So sometimes I like to use it for a little bit of blush, and it just adds in that little really pretty subtle light flush of pink, and I really love it. And now I'm going to go in with my Too Faced bronzer. I am using the shade Milk Chocolate Souffle, and then I'm just going to go around and tap in a little bit to really sharpen the contour of my nose a little bit more. And then I'm going to just take a slight bit and put it under my cheek, just a little bit. We don't want too much. We don't want a harsh line either. And I'm going to come back and blend that up into the blush so that there's not really like a harsh line between the bronzer. And then I'm going to take a tad bit where we contoured over here. Not a whole lot at all, just a subtle little touch right through here, just to kind of sharpen up all of the contouring that I did. And then I'm going to go in and do a little bit more on my forehead. Now it's time to spray our face, and I'm going to be using the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Setting Spray, and then I'm just going to spray a little bit all over my face. Now I'm going to go in with the Rare Beauty highlighter. Oh my gosh, guys, let me tell you something else about this highlighter. Look at that. Do y'all see what that just did? Like, this highlighter is so insane. You literally don't even need sunlight for the highlighter to even show up. I mean, look at that. Look at what that just did. I am obsessed with highlighter. Highlighter is like my thing. And this highlighter from Rare Beauty is perfect for me because it is extremely pigmented, very highlighting, and that just makes me love it so much. And I just like to put a little bit everywhere. I'm going to go in with my mascara. This is from Benefit Cosmetics. This is the Bad Gal Bang mascara from Benefit Cosmetics, and I use this one for my upper lashes, and then I use a different mascara for my lower lashes. Okay guys, my mascara is all done. I am going to go do a few finishing touches, and then I will be back with the final look.